Welcome back to Niaga AWANI, and of course natural gas is a crucial element in Malaysia's journey towards achieving carbon neutrality by 2050, and PETRONAS is certainly committed to balancing the rising demand for natural gas with the imperative to cut carbon emissions by investing in cleaner technologies and also improving energy efficiency. And also as the cleanest burning fossil fuel, natural gas is set to play a pivotal role in Malaysia's energy landscape over the next decade, particularly in replacing coal-fired power plants. And to discuss further about this, joining me right now is Hisham Maaulot, Chief Executive Officer of PETRONAS Energy and also Gas Trading, PEGT. Hisham, thank you so much for joining us this time. First of all, natural gas, of course, has been identified as the key component in Malaysia's transitions towards carbon neutrality by 2050. And how does PETRONAS especially plan to balance the increasing demand for natural gas with the need to reduce carbon emissions?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me here, Najib. So first and foremost, our commitment for NZZE0 has been pledged by our management. The support from top leadership of PETRONAS is crucial in realizing this vision. And then on top of that, gas is still treated as a core product of PETRONAS. A significant amount of investments are being made. LNG has been imported into Malaysia, and we see that gas will play a significant role in the energy sector for Malaysia. And in our operations, we are doing progressive initiatives to ensure that the emission is reduced. We are reducing our carbon footprints in terms of our Scope 1 and Scope 2. And then lastly, I think PETRONAS is working towards a lot of progressive initiatives. We have solutions for the customers. I'll give you several examples. We have gas up cooling down facilities in Pengerang. We also have this LNG loading facility in Pengerang. And with this type of solutions, customer would have options for them to take on gas for their operations, for their feed, for their fuel. So that's how PETRONAS is moving towards, supporting the government's agenda in the gas market.
Yeah. And let's talk about the energy mix, because you mentioned a little bit about that for the next decade at least. Given that natural gas is considered the cleanest burning fossil fuel, what role do you see that it plays in terms of Malaysia's energy mix over the next decade, especially in replacing coal-fired power plants?
Well, it is going to play a very significant role. If you look at the plant up of power generation in Malaysia, you will see that there is no more coal-fired plant being planned in the next few years. As a matter of fact, they're going to be decommissioning all these coal-fired power plants. We do have a good ambition in terms of having renewable energy for Malaysia. Now, renewable come with its own peculiarities. It has the intermittency issue, and gas will have to be the bridger for this. When there is intermittency in the renewable energy, gas would have to come in. When there are less coal-fired power plant, gas would have to come in. So with this, we need to understand the dynamics of the gas market. Gas currently is being treated as the balancer, where it will top up the energy mix whenever coal is not available or when there's intermittency in the renewable. So you see the importance of gas, and the increase of demand of power will also increase the demand of gas.
I want to talk about the price volatility a little bit, but first of all, the Malaysian Gas Association has highlighted the economic impact of the gas industry, contributing over 135 billion ringgit annually. How does PETRONAS plan to sustain and potentially increase this economic contribution as a whole?
So, like I said, the importance of gas is not only for power sector, but it is also to spur the economic growth of industry.
Yes.
There are more efficient ways of using this gas. We can use it to generate power within an industrial cluster. We can use cogen. But the most important point that I want to make is that in order for us to spur the economy from the gas sector, the fundamentals of the market has to be changed, i.e. the gas market liberalization is very important.
Yes.
We have seen distortion in the market, especially in terms of power pricing, the gas that is being supplied to power. So this has somewhat hindered the growth of gas sector in Malaysia. So the key to this is also on the electricity tariff. Right now, the gas is heavily subsidized for the power sector. Power sector is using most of the gases in Malaysia. And if the fundamentals is not changed, it is going to be challenging for us to go into full market liberalization.
You mentioned a little bit about the liberalization of the gas market in Malaysia and also the challenges we face right now. But despite the introduction of third-party access (TPA) back in 2017, what are some of the obstacles and challenges in order for us to liberalize the Malaysia's gas market that's currently in this very slow stage, I would say?
Yeah. First and foremost, the system is there. We have done two cargoes coming from third parties. One was in 2019, and recently there's another party that brought in LNG to Malaysian shores. Now, the structure of the market doesn't really support the involvement of third party to be aggressively being in Malaysia. I'll share you like I said, the market is distorted, especially on the power sector. So until we have reached a full liberalized market, there won't be a lot of participations from third party. Now, number two, I think the shippers, the registered shippers within Malaysia, are also not familiar with the process of getting into the infrastructure. We have infrastructures like the regas terminal and also the pipeline, and this requires certain processes for them to get into the system. Now, getting into the system is another challenge. Once you are in the system, you have to be fully committed. And these shippers, most of them are quite small. Thus, it hinders their involvement because they have to put in their commitment for a certain period of time. Yep. Whereas on the customer side, they are not sure whether there will be off-taker on the customer side. So they have to put in their money into the infrastructure to underwrite the capacity, certain capacities. But then on the customer side, they are not, fully, they are not sure whether there will be full off-take of their capacity. Now, we also have the pricing mechanism in the power sector. People will not bring in LNG, importing it to Malaysia, because LNG is bought at market price. Now, you only have a limited market in Malaysia, which is the non-power sector. And most of these non-power sectors, they are on long-term contracts, be it with PETRONAS or be it with other shippers. So the ability for these other shippers to come in and break into the non-power sector is limited. If they want to go to power sector, the price is subsidized. Thus, it limits the involvement of third party coming into Malaysia. So, just for your info, we have liberalized or the non-power sector has been at market parity. The gas price for non-power sector has been at market parity since 2022. And with that, we have seen a lot of involvement from third parties, shippers, supplying into this customer, albeit it is a smaller volume, and they are still mostly taking the gas from PETRONAS. But at least the starting of third party access is there, and it could be a testing ground for us to look into the system, how nominations are being made, and the ability for customers to choose from multiple shippers, right? So I think I've given you where the market is right now and some of the challenges that shippers are facing in getting into a Malaysian third-party access system.
This is very interesting because I want to touch about the liberalized gas market in enhancing Malaysia's energy security, because I believe you mentioned a little bit just now, but how do you see in terms of helping the energy security for Malaysia, particularly with the recent global energy price volatility?
Right. First and foremost, it gives the customer a menu on their table to look into multiple shippers.
Yeah.
Now, with this diversification for customers, it also pushes the supplier to have multiple sources of supply as well. LNG is going to be a big component in this. Like I said, our indigenous gas is declining. We have been dependent on our supply from PEGT. We have also supply from TTM, and the cost of production is increasing. The volume is decreasing. So we will have to do a lot of efforts to bring in LNG. Now, secondly, when we have competition, there will be innovative ways of us, shippers, going into the market. The customers would want more flexibilities, and having multiple shippers will provide this competition and giving solutions to the customers. So I think it is important for a market like Malaysia. We are not that big, but we are also not small. So it is good for us to have multiple shippers into the system.
Let's talk about investment. PETRONAS has, of course, outlined plans for significant investments in gas infrastructure and also production over the next 3 years. Yeah? Maybe you can elaborate and share more the details of the planned investments for the next 3 years and expected impact of Malaysia towards Malaysia's gas industry itself.
Yeah, sure. So firstly, we have invested heavily in the infrastructure of gas in Malaysia. We have two gas processing plants in Kerteh and Santong. We have invested in 2 regas terminals, and also we have the PGU, Peninsular Gas Utilisation Pipeline, across Malaysia. Now, in terms of solutioning, PETRONAS has been investing in multiple fronts. We have this facility which we call virtual pipeline system. Virtual pipeline system is located in Pengerang, and it enables LNG to be transported via trucks. Now, this is important because our PGU pipeline doesn't reach to 100% of Peninsular Malaysia. There are places that needs to be served via trucks. So this provides an avenue for a smaller industry who are what we call off-grid to be able to use gas in their operations. Now, secondly, we also have this service which we call GUCD, gas up, cooling down. This is an important service for vessels who have gone for dry docking, and they would like to take out the inert gas from their tanks and also cool down their vessel. Being located in Pengerang, it is very strategic because we have shipyards in southern Malaysia and also from Singapore who can use this service. Now, we also have these ISO tanks. ISO tanks is another interesting solution where you can put the LNG into small ISO tanks and transport it to so-called remote locations. Again, this is going to be a solution not only for industry but also for power generation. Imagine yourself being in an island, you have a small demand for power. It can be served via these ISO tanks. Now, the last one is the solutioning of us selling our emission. It is actually, we can also sell our CO2. There are initiatives that we are doing to liquefy the CO2, selling it to the customer, selling it to a plant for them to onward process it and turn it into another product. So there are a lot of investment that we have been doing, that we have currently and in the pipeline.
I want to talk about the regional because as we are heading towards our ASEAN Chairmanship next year, of course we'll talk about Malaysia is supposed to be become the key natural gas hub in ASEAN itself. What strategic advantage or advantages in that sense does Malaysia have over other countries in this particular region, and how is PETRONAS capitalizing on these advantages?
Yeah, first and foremost, our geographical location is very, very good to become a hub within the region. Now, geographical advantage that we have, we are central in terms of the demand in Southeast Asia, and our location provides good distance to the main market, i.e. Japan, Korea, Taiwan, China. And geographical advantage also has been blessed to us via the stability of our shores, meaning there's no earthquake, the threat of earthquake and everything. Why I highlight this? Because moving forward, we have this sustainability agenda which require us to invest into CCS, carbon capture and storage. Now, with this geographical stability that we have, we are looking into investing into carbon capture and storage in our Malaysian shores. Now, this can be utilized not only for us, for PETRONAS, but can be utilized by other oil producers, not only in Malaysia, but from overseas. It's like they are going to bring in the carbon, the CO2, and store it in our storage facility in Malaysia. Now, the investment would have to be an integrated investment that we're going to do. It involves piping of the CO2. We have to invest in the gathering hub, and also we have to send it offshore, where it is going to be stored. So heavy investment needs to be done on that, and all this is to cater for the need of a cleaner gas, cleaner fuel in the future. Now, in terms of being a hub, the infrastructure that we have in Malaysia, we have the regas terminals, we have the connection of the pipeline, we are connected to Thailand, we are connected to Singapore, and we have the resources. Now, that is important. There are some countries who are aspiring to become a hub, but they don't have the market size nor the gas. We have the market. We have a sufficient market to do the trading within Malaysia. We have the infrastructure, and right now we have the system tested that we can become a hub. So I think we have all the ingredients for Malaysia to become a hub, and we have to position ourselves in terms of the capability of trading. Now, that is important. We have to build the platform for trading. We have to have a transparent market on the infrastructure and on the gas molecules. So if we have a good plan towards having a liberalized market, then all the ingredients could come together and put out Malaysia in a good position to become a regional hub.
Okay. Let's talk about before we end the discussion, let's talk about the trickle-down effect from what you mentioned just now. Of course, Malaysia is projected to be, to achieve a high-income nation until 2028 at least, or 2030 in that sense. But how do you see that gas market or PETRONAS and oil and gas industry in that sense, plays an important role in that transition of becoming high-income nations? Especially in job creation? Yeah,
for the gas industry, it will play a pivotal role for me towards Malaysia becoming a high-income nation. Now, the energy demand is going to be catered by the gas industry.
Yes.
And then in terms of the multiplier effect, let me illustrate to you. We are contributing, the gas industry is contributing about 5% of the GDP in 2023. Now, we have created more than 80,000 jobs in the gas market. Now, this is direct jobs within the market. So, you see the importance of gas in terms of employment. Another thing that I would like to highlight is that this employment that we created is high-skilled workers and decent-paying jobs. So that will contribute significantly towards Malaysia's aspiration to become a high-income nation.
Right. Hisham, thank you so much for joining Niaga AWANI this time. That is Hisham Maaulot, Chief Executive Officer of PETRONAS Energy and Gas Trading, PEGT, discussing about natural gas and also the importance of having liberalized gas market in Malaysia, which is on the right track. Are we on the right track?
Yes, we are, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Pleasure, Najib.
Thank you so much, Hisham. Okay, we're going to go for a short break, and will be a lot of reports will be coming out after this.